Welcome to the forum for the candidates for the 2025 OPA Director election. If you are able, please rise. Gentlemen, please remove your hats for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Am I coming through okay? You can hear me loud enough? I'm Pat Leonard. I'm a member of the Ocean Pines Elections Committee, and I'm your host for this evening's proceedings. I hope all of you have weathered the gloomy weather over the past couple of days, but I have to say that a gloomy day in Ocean Pines beats a sunny day just about anywhere else, and I truly believe that. I'd like to say that I was eager to be the MC for the event because I thought Steve said it was going to be a roast. And I thought I could get a few jabs in at the candidates. Of course, Steve corrected me and said, no, you're the host. Well, a promise is a promise, and here we are. The other members of the Elections Committee here tonight are seated at the table. Cheryl Jacobs, wave your hand. She will be our She'll be our timekeeper for this evening, so candidates beware. Marlene Ott is going to join us later. Tom McElroy, we expect him here, but I don't know at what point he'll be here. And then, of course, our esteemed chairman, Steve Ranzel. And then what committee would be complete without its liaison to the board? And that's John Latham. As you know, or as most of you know, or you should know, that the Ocean Pines board consists of 7 directors. This year we have 4 candidates vying for 3 vacant seats. The 3 successful candidates in this election will serve until 2028. I would like to announce our candidates here present in ballot order. We had a drawing for ballot order, so everything will happen in that ballot order tonight. First is Dr. Stuart Lachernick, not Lachernick, but it used to be. Ms. Monica Rakowski, Mr. Steve Jacobs, and Ms. Amy Peck. Before we proceed, I would like to thank each of the candidates for taking that bold step to serve our community in such a highly visible way. In many ways, theirs is a thankless task. They are often criticized, scrutinized, chastised, and all sorts of other ised. Yet they continue to serve with devotion to this wonderful community we all call home. There is truly no other place I'd rather be, and I thank you all for putting yourselves out there to make Ocean Pines the paradise that it is. Finally, I'd like to thank all of you in the audience for coming this evening. This is an important event in a very important process, choosing our next set of leaders. Your presence here is an indication that you respect how important it is. All right, now down to business. In this first segment, we will have opening statements from each candidate. Note that your time for the opening remarks will be limited to 3 minutes. One of our election committee members will be our official timekeeper. We will alert you at 1 minute, 30 seconds, 15 seconds, and then, oh, not 15, 1 minute, 30 seconds, and then wrap it up. And then I get the hook. So if anybody's got a good hook I can use, I'd be happy to put it to good use. For the opening statements, as well as the upcoming rounds of questions and closing remarks, we will follow the same order as was drawn for the ballot listing. That means, Dr. Lachernick, you're up first.
Thank you, Pat. First, I want to thank the Elections Committee for putting together tonight's program, and they do a great job running our election. And I want to thank you for coming out tonight. I've been on this board for 3 years. First as a director, second as a vice president, and most recently, I've been honored to be the president of your association representing you. I've been honored and blessed with 6 incredible colleagues that I work with. Do we always agree? I have to tell you, we do not. But we always work it out, and at the end of the day, we come to the best decisions that benefit Ocean Pines. There are a lot of things that I'm proud of that we've accomplished in my term here. One of the things that I hold dear was watching the Veterans Memorial Pavilion come to life. That, to me, is the cornerstone of our community. We have delivered a brand new racket center. I have to tell you that our finances, the financial health of Ocean Pines is good. And the reason it's good is because of that guy right there, our financial steward, John Viola, and his incredible team. Thank you, John. We work in collaboration with him to get it done. When I got here 3 years ago, we had 8 police officers in our department. We were told safety is the #1 issue of our community. We went out, and listen, when we had eight officers, we had to get the Worcester County Sheriff's Department to cover shifts here. We went out and found Chief Robinson. Under his expert leadership, our department has 13 full-time police officers. We are a 7-day, 365 department. I have 1 minute left. I got to hurry up. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm from Philadelphia. Yes, I'm an Eagles fan. My wife and I bought here in 2013. We have 2 children. My undergraduate was Temple University, postgraduate, Life University School of Chiropractic. I've been in practice 33 years in Philadelphia. And my postgraduate degree as a functional neurologist is from St. Louis, Logan College.
30 seconds.
I'm passionate about volunteering. We've teamed up with Worcester Gold and Diakonia. We've done a lot of food drives, coat drives, Toys for Tots. We sent kids to camp. The True Blue, the True Steel Salute to Troops. We put together care packages that we sent to active duty personnel abroad. Nothing like getting something. Time's up. When you get your ballot, I would appreciate your vote. Thank you. That was the fastest 3 minutes of my day.
Okay, next up is Miss Monica Rakowski.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here. My name is Monica Rakowski. I've been on the board for 3 years now, running for my 2nd term. I've lived here for 15 years. Ended up loving the Eastern Shore because I went to college at Salisbury and knew I had to get back here. So 1 marriage, 1 divorce, 1 child, married, out of college, and here I am. So I'm grateful for that. I've been a volunteer since I was 14 years old. It was just in my nature. It was in my parents' nature to always try and give back. Might have had something to do with they had 7 of us, so they felt like they had to get out there and do some things with all of us running around. I'm proud of what goes on here. At the fire department meeting today, somebody said about, this beats a sunny day, a rainy here beats a sunny day anywhere. The safety always will be my #1 priority. Financial stability. That makes our homes worth more, gives us, peace of mind about that. So the other thing I think too is I won't always have the answers, but I guarantee you, when I say I will get back to you, I will get back to you. No one has all the answers all the time, but what sets us apart is how we follow up. So thank you for your time. I hope you have enjoyed my time on the board and hope you give me another chance this election. Thank you.
Thank you, Monica. Next up, Mr. Steve Jacobs.
Thank you. I should start off by saying I just got back from San Diego. I have a bit of a cold. Last night, when I turned out the light, it was 11:30 PM Eastern Time, which is 8:30 San Diego time. So if I sound like a bunch of gibberish, most of my colleagues will expect that, but at least I have an excuse this time. Look, I love Ocean Pines. I think we all do. The opportunities here to enjoy yourself are just amazing. Nikki and I love this place. We're glad we came down here. And truth be told, if the biggest issue that we all face is a level of financial certainty and stability. Stuart's right. John Viola deserves almost all of the credit. My own view at times is the board would be smarter to get out of the way than try to reach a decision between seven of us. But it's a good place. What does disappoint me, I'll be quite candid, is we only have 4 people running for 3 vacancies. We need to get more people involved in what Ocean Pines does on a regular basis. I, for one, am trying to figure out a way to have more open discussions about matters that come up before the board. A lot of our discussions, whether you know this or not, is basically through emails. And we hash out a bunch of, everybody raises concerns, we hash out some concerns, and we work through it as best we can. And then ultimately we come in a meeting and either reach an agreement. We don't always agree, but we work together cooperatively, even if we don't always agree. So, and that's good.
1 minute.
But I think that's important, and I'd like to see more citizen involvement. Candidly, I hope you all vote, and I hope you get your neighbors to vote. I think you ought to have a block party where everybody brings their ballots and you can just fill them out together and mail them away, or just let somebody get your Wi-Fi connection and they can do it electronically if you want to give up your Wi-Fi connection. But I do encourage everybody to vote. That is the most
30
important thing.
seconds.
So thank you very much. 3 years ago, I stood here and said, I'm an independent person. I'm not tied to any one group. That is still the case. I intend to keep it that way. And I appreciate the time being on the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Last and certainly not least, Ms. Amy Peck.
Hi, I'm Amy Peck. I'm the challenger. I'm here today asking for your support. If you know me, you know I love Ocean Pines. I've been here since 2002, so I'm the candidate and director that's been here the longest. I've raised my sons here, I've worked here, I've played here, I've volunteered here, and I'm very passionate about protecting the legacy of Ocean Pines. That's very important to me because this is a great place. Ocean Pines does have problems, but leaves in people's yards or a reflector at the end of the driveway should not be the focus. I'm about common sense governance. I'm about community input, listening to the homeowners. So I'm hoping that today's forum will give you more information about me and what I stand for, my core values, and what I'm going to bring to the table. I'm about listening to the community, and I think we need leadership that listens. I'm fiscally conservative. That means I'm going to concentrate on needs, prioritize those over wants. I'm about basic infrastructure. I'm about safety, of course. I'm about using data and research when we're making decisions. And of course, I'm about more transparency and more community input. If after today's forum you have questions for me, the thing I like to talk about most is Ocean Pines. So please reach out to me. You can also email me. My email is peck4pines@comcast.net, and I would love to talk to you. So as the challenger, I'm the underdog, so I really need your vote. I need your support. And I want to thank you today for being here and listening to me, because I'm listening.
1 minute.
I'm listening to the homeowners and the timekeeper, and we need leadership that listens. So please consider casting your vote for Amy Peck. Thank you.
Heck for Pines. I like that. That's pretty cool. Well, some great opening remarks. Thank you all candidates. Next segment, we will have our first round of questions. Because that's what we all came here to hear, was how you would answer these questions that I don't think you've seen, you shouldn't have seen. Each candidate will draw a number from our little bucket here that our lovely Steve Ransdell is passing around. These numbers correspond to questions that were composed by our elections committee. Excuse me. Each candidate will have up to 3 minutes to respond to the question. And then the warnings that Cheryl's giving are still going to apply as well. I believe the clock starts after the question is been fully read. So once again, Dr. Lackernick, you are up first.
Question number 1.
Number 1 with a bullet. How would you handle situations where homeowners are not abiding by the rules and regulations? For instance, the recent enforcement regarding leaf accumulation.
Okay, Steve, let's talk about leaves. That's been a hot topic in our community for the last month or so, 2 months. Look, our Ocean Pines Public Works and Engineering Department, we are at or below sea level in certain portions of our community. Flooding is an issue after heavy storms. And it was determined through our Public Works and Engineering that the swales and the clogged drainage pipes are responsible for some of this. So a decision was made to send out some letters. Most folks jumped right on it and cleaned their swales out. And let me tell you, some of that problem was aggravated by some of our homeowners dumping all their yard waste into the ditches. If you go back, there's talk about all of these record-breaking violations. That's just misinformation, folks. Back in the March board meeting, there were 8 violations sent to legal. There were 21 where we exercised Article 14 of our declarations of restrictions and sent contractors up to remediate the violation. We're talking a total of 29. People, listen, who has had flooding as bad as it's been? It's been greatly reduced. Thank you.
I have question 4.
What steps would you take to ensure that board decisions align with the best interests of the community?
I think 1, communicating with our board members, community members, committees, things like that, offer us insight. We certainly have to do our due diligence about, when bids come in, and, we've had different vendors provide different levels of, the builder for the fire station has actually donated all his time to do all these drawings and things like that. So I think we need to continue along those lines to use every resource, communicate any and every way we can with the community. Thank you.
Number 3.
What is your approach to resolving issues and making decisions as a team?
I don't think I have a set approach. What I try to do is, and this is frankly my background. I worked for 8 years on Capitol Hill for both Republican, Democratic congressman. I served 20 plus years as a lobbyist. The official title was Vice President Government Relations, but I was a sleazeball lobbyist. For 2 communications associations, I had private law practice. I also worked last 7 years dealing with child support litigation for the Attorney General in Howard County. So I have a lot of experience about finding people from different points of view and pulling them into a room to try to resolve differences. I think that's what I try to do now. We do it by email very often, sometimes do it over the phone, sometimes do it face to face. But the biggest issue, it seems to me, is to go in with a set of ideas as what you'd like to see done and garner that same honesty and forthright positions from the others without belittling whatever their views may be. You can't denigrate somebody and then say, oh, gee, we should work together. I think that's crucially important. You have to respect the other side when you're talking to them. And there are, as I have been told many, many years ago by a person far smarter than me, no permanent enemies. You may agree on something one day and disagree on something the next day. That's fine. But you got to find a way to work together. And that's what's most important for everybody here. And that should be the sort of the guiding principle we use.
1 minute.
I'm done.
How do you plan to balance competing wants within the community?
I think the best way to do it is to get input from the community. I was disappointed when the community survey was delayed and it wasn't in time for budget considerations. Listening to the homeowners and having your finger on the pulse of what they want is really important. Again, being fiscally conservative and seeing that Ocean Pines does have some challenges ahead with economics, tightening, grant money drying up. I am fiscally conservative, so I am always going to prioritize the needs, which are infrastructure. We've got a big expense with the fire department coming up, so safety is always going to be first. Infrastructure is always going to be ahead. And then we're going to see what is going to benefit the community. So I'm looking at things like return on investment. Is this a project that's going to help us generate revenue? Is this a project that is going to benefit the community as a whole? How many people is this going to help? And what is the legacy of this project? So I'm going to take a multidisciplinary look at it. I kind of am known as the researcher. So if I don't know something, I'm going to be asking questions. I'm going to be finding the data so that we're making the best decisions. And it's not what I want. It's what the community wants. That's why we're elected, to do the community's bidding. So that's going to be number one. Thanks.
You guys are good. And I forgot to mention another reason why I'm so happy that you volunteered. It means that I don't feel like I have to. We're past the deadline for candidates. So thank you all very much. Very good answers to those questions. This next round, we have questions that were submitted by the community. And again, we will randomly draw from the bucket that our lovely Steve Ranzel is passing around. And the same the same rules apply. We'll go in the same order as before, and we'll have the same timing rules. So, and there's no need for me to pop up and just introduce the next candidate. I think we know the order, so if that's all right with everybody, I think we know how to behave and come up when it's our turn. So, first up, Dr. Lachernick.
Thank you, Pat. I have question number 9. The answer is no.
Number 9, do you support changing the DRs to allow foster and adopted kids to occupy homes in Section 14B?
That's a great question. And I'll tell you, enforcing that DR is unenforceable. There is no way that they're going to put put a kid out that's an adopted child. Go through the process of changing a DR is an expensive proposition. And when you're talking about something that's unenforceable, that's not something we're going to take action on. This is something that it's from a bygone age, and we're not going to do it. Thank you.
Question number 8.
I swear I shook the bowl.
All right, well, I have the same question.
Why have there been minimal surveys to homeowners completed over the past 2.5 years? And would you support more surveys in the future?
I would support more surveys in the future. I think that's one way we can get in touch. What I think we need to be better at, excuse me, what I think we need to be better at is getting more people involved. How do we get this survey information out there? Do we take it to the yacht club, and have people fill out surveys there? Do we take it to the farmer's market, have, a table set up there? I think those are all ways that we could do better with the surveys. It was very disappointing to see the amount of responses back from that survey. So I think surveys work great if they're tailored correctly. And then, we need to do a better job of getting out there and making people know that we're asking for their feedback. Thank you.
For those of you who are checking your scorecard, number 11 is Jordan Westberg. So it's the third baseman. I'm missing a game to be here, so I kind of felt a little withdrawal.
You're wrong team. I flew out to San Diego to see my Caps lose.
Good for you.
And for you cynics, yes, I could have seen it at a lot of expense, but anyway, go ahead.
I realize I've gotten on the controversial. Cheryl reminded me. Number 11, if elected, how often do you expect to interact with the general manager? How would you address your communication to him?
I hate talking to John Viola. I probably have either sent an email or called up or met with John, I don't know, half a dozen times, maybe more. If I see him, we gab about something. My general feeling is I try not to get involved in what he does. I see him as a resource. So if I have a question, I can address it to him. He can give me an answer, and that probably clears up whatever confusion I had. I'll give you an example. I started off both on the bylaws committee, and then shortly after I got on the board, we were in the middle of the pandemic, and everything was done remotely. And staff was particularly active in making sure we all got hooked up. They stayed online with us while we were meeting, and it was a lot of work. And John slowly moved people off that so that the staff was not working directly with the committees. And I said to him, I'm not sure the committees like that. I mean, I think they've gotten used to working with staff. And John explained to me that was not the way we were doing it pre-pandemic. We had the pandemic, we addressed that problem, we moved from there. Made sense? No argument. He was right. So I see him as just a great resource. We don't always agree. But I mean, if you need to know something, he's the guy to ask. That's the way I would put it.
Do you actively belong to any of the Ocean Pines amenities? If so, which ones? And what is your involvement?
I've been here since 2002. Yes, we belong to the amenities. I raised my kids through Rec and Parks programs. They were so excited about the skateboard park. We belong to the pools. I'm a spec tennis player. My husband is a golfer. We kayak, so we use the boat ramps. We're always at the Rec and Parks activities. We love those. They're my favorites. So I'm a big fan of the amenities, but more importantly, I like that the amenities are à la carte because I understand that there's a large group of homeowners who do not belong to the amenities. And so I believe that it's important that the amenities run so that they are making money or at least not losing money, because that helps those homeowners lower the HOA. And it gives us more money for things like safety, where the cost has gone way up. So I think the amenities and how they're being run is important. But I also think for the amenities, it's important to listen to the users of the amenities and data when we're making membership pricing decisions. And I was very disappointed that that did not happen with the Racket Center. And because of that, we have like a $47,000 variance. So when you're a director, I think it's important to understand and be visiting those amenities, understand what the users want for those amenities, and making smart decisions so that the amenities keep running smoothly and making us money. Thanks.
Okay, next round. This is going to be the fun one. In this final round, each candidate will be allowed to ask another candidate a question. So we have no idea what's going to come out of these folks' mouth now. This is a little tricky, so bear with me. Any one candidate cannot be asked more than one question, except there's always a but, right? Except the final questioner, you know who that is, has the opportunity to ask any other candidate. So it's in this way, it's sort of interesting to be last. And again, responses are limited to 3 minutes, and Cheryl will give you the time. So Dr. Lachernick, you're up again.
Thank you. Listen, my question is for you, Ms. Peck. You've in the past advocated for boycotting some of our amenities. How can a candidate for director reconcile that position with the responsibility of advocating for all of Ocean Pines and supporting all of Ocean Pines?
First of all, I did not advocate for boycotting amenities. What I advocated for was good negotiations, not board members saying that that prior company wasn't going anywhere, that they were going to be around for years. I advocated for what was the good decision for Ocean Pines and what ultimately happened, which was an RFP. I've always advocated that there are good places to outsource, and one of those is food and beverage. But when you outsource something, you got to make sure that you're getting the best deal. We outsourced golf way back then, and it was a disaster. Not a good deal. Stuart Lachernick recently suggested outsourcing the pools at a aquatics committee meeting. Not a good idea. You have to be smart when you outsourced, and John Viola did an excellent job with the RFP. We're in much better financial position with the new Touch of Italy vendor. And if you haven't been there, it's one of Tim and Meyer's favorite restaurants. The food's really good, and the menu's going to improve. So I think that was a fantastic decision. Decisions have to be made on what is best for Ocean Pines, not who you're friends with, not, the vendor that you love. It's what is the best financial decision, and that's what we did, and I stand by that.
So my question is for Stu. Stu, it has been said, we've been a very successful board these past several years. Not a lot of controversy and things. So what do you think has been the biggest misconception about this current board?
Interesting question. One misconception is I never advocated for outsourcing the pools. That's a misinformation right there. Another thing that is a misconception is that we're a rubber stamp of everything that comes down. Folks, we talk about all the different topics. We don't always agree. We hammer out and come up with a decision based on facts that's the best for Ocean Pines. Thank you. That hasn't been asked yet.
No, the
No, that's not the rules.
last person can. ask.
Okay, ask me.
Okay. I'm big about transparency and community input. So I'm going to ask you, Stuart, because you're the only director who is both part-time resident and working full-time. And in November of 2022, this board made a decision to eliminate hybrid comments for residents just like you at the board meeting. So I would like you to explain why you're eliminating those type of residents from having full participation at the board meetings by making a public comment.
Amy, that's an excellent question. Back in 2022, there was a huge controversy going on with the death of a young child. And we were being targeted and boycotted, as you know, and our amenities for our restaurateur at that time. People were picketing outside. We had to have our police be here just in case anything happened. We had people that were online that were not necessarily residents during our board meeting. And board meetings are for our association members only. The only way we can ensure that was to eliminate the comments that we heard that came over that Teams meeting. Thank you.
Okay, so we are apparently well ahead of schedule, and we have an opportunity to pivot a little bit if all of the candidates are amenable. We have a lot more questions from the community. Would the candidates be amenable to entertaining additional questions? Okay, let's do it again, Steve.
They don't.
Only if you like, you can always, you're either all in or you're all out. And as usual, the first one we'll hear from is Stuart.
I have a question number 10, Steve.
Question number 10 is, what would you propose or do differently to improve the perception of board transparency?
I would have people show up at more meetings. That's the answer. Get involved, show up, listen, tune in on Teams. There are links on our website for everybody to be part of everything. That's the answer.
Question 4 is, do you feel that the yearly assessment should increase to cover the cost of aging amenity buildings?
Yes and no. I mean, again, if we're going to maintain this place, this wonderful, beautiful place we have, there probably will come a time that we're going to have to raise HOA fees. On the, we talked today at the firehouse meeting where we might see a $50 increase in our annual HOA fees. Neglect is the worst thing for anything. And I think the fire department's kind of going through that. It got so bad, piecemealed it here, piecemealed it there. And now, it's just not workable. It's not doable. We can't even add to the top story of it. So yes, I do foresee increasing, HOA fees, but again, it will be done at, with the DMA study, our reserves and where we are financially. Thank you.
What do you see is the role of the advisory committees? Have you been a member of an advisory committee?
I've been a member of the bylaws committee, which is one of three, I believe, that are specifically identified in our bylaws, but I think all of them act in an advisory capacity. I actually believe in advisory committees. I know some people think we have too many. Some people suggest we should just get rid of them all. But my own view is they serve a vital purpose. There is an issue that I think needs to be addressed, and that is the ability of the advisory committees to engage or impact or interfere with the work of the staff. That should not happen, and that's a given. And I think some of the responsibility to make sure it doesn't happen falls on the liaisons. One of our now departed but former committee board members told me initially, liaison should be seen and not heard. In my case, that's not true. You can see me and you'll hear me. And I have tried to keep the two committees that I work with pretty much within the boundaries of what they should be doing. But I do think they serve a valuable purpose. I think, they advise the board about things that they're hearing in the community, that they're hearing at the amenities. I think the other advantage is these are people who are interested in specific areas where they have some level of expertise or some level of specialty that we should take and make use of. And the third thing is, it seems to me, is they provide a new level or avenue, I should say, of communication beyond just what the board hears and what the staff hears. So my own view is we should make use of those committees. Every year, we praise them to the sky at a dinner. And a week or two later, or a week and two before that, one of them gets axed. That's what happened to the Rackets Committee last year. That was a big mistake. So my own view is there needs to be some adjustment. We may want to consolidate. We may want to review all the committees. But I think they serve a valuable purpose, both for the community, for us, and to some extent for the staff. But they should not interfere with the work of the staff.
How comfortable are you with biking or walking on Ocean Parkway? Do you feel Ocean Parkway is safe for residents to walk or bike?
I'm a big walker, a big biker. So is my husband. You'll see him with his trailer and his golf cart. And when he's on Ocean Parkway, I pray. I'm not real comfortable. It's not real safe. There's not a whole lot of room. There's some road cuts that definitely need to be repaired. I'm a big supporter of the Worcester Coalition, Bike and Pedestrian Safety. Our neighborhood is so great because of safety. So I think there are things that we can do that will make it safer for residents. I know one board member said, well, you can just go bike at Cape Henlopen. No, you should be able to walk and bike in your neighborhood. We have kids at school buses, waiting for the school bus. We have people walking to get their mail. So this needs to be a priority. And there are things we can do. I don't like it when a board just says, nope, we can't do that. Let's find some solutions. Is it built-in road reflectors? I mean, we had a work group and they've gotten us some great pedestrian crossings that are really needed. I use the Robin Hood Trail. Boy, am I glad now that there's a pedestrian crossing because there's cars speeding down that road a lot of times. Every year in the budget, we have money put in for repainting the roads. And it's not done every year. So maybe we can use that money to make things safer. But I think with the popularity of electric bikes, with the more and more people retiring here and being here full-time, not part-time, more people taking their bikes to the golf course and to the amenities, the terrible parking that sometimes happens on the weekends at the yacht club. Boy, I would like to be able to ride my bike there. So let's make this a priority. Let's make safety a priority and find some common sense solutions to what is a problem.
Great answers, everybody. Okay, we are winding down here a bit. So we are at the time where we're going to entertain closing statements from each of the candidates. Once again, you each have 3 minutes, and Cheryl will keep you honest. So first up is Dr. Lachernick.
Thank you, Pat. Again, I want to thank the Elections Committee for putting this program together. And again, thank you for showing up. I think a director needs a couple of these traits: strength, integrity, ethics, and competency. I have those traits. There was a post on a local media outlet that said, this is one of the best boards he's seen in 36 years. Chuckle, chuckle. We get things done. Instead of pointing fingers when there's a problem and telling you who's to blame and bluster, we don't bluster. We identify the problem and go after it and correct it. Listen, you guys are getting a ballot in about 2 weeks. In that ballot is a referendum. In that referendum, it's a referendum on our new Southside Firehouse to give us permission to go forward with this program. Read it, vote, vote, vote. Your word means something. Make it mean something. Listen, while you're voting, if you could check off that box that has my name, that would be great. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. As you can see by my attire, I'm not a very fancy, over-the-top type of person. You know, I'm not going to razzle-dazzle you with any, quotes from here or there. But what you see is what you get. And again, I'm approachable. I'm a good listener. And I know how to compromise. I said this when I ran 3 years ago. I grew up in a home that was 15 foot wide, 30 foot long, with 8 other people, my mom and dad and my 6 siblings. So when it came to decisions, you either compromised, jumped on the train, or got hit by it. So I know how to get things done. I know how to work both sides of the aisle, and I promise I'll do that for you. This community means everything to me. This is where I'm going to spend the rest of my days. And that's how much it means to me. So if you like me, or if you don't, see something, say it to me. I will get back to you, whatever it takes, whether it takes going to the board, the committees, or whatever. I'll take care of it. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate you.
First and foremost, I want to encourage everyone, as I said before, to vote. Get your neighbors to vote, get your friends to vote. The more people who vote, the better impact it'll have on the entire community. Who you vote for is entirely up to you. I will tell you that my 3 rivals here are all good people. They all deserve to be heard, and they all deserve to be thought of carefully when you make your choice. Beyond that, financially, Ocean Pines is in pretty good shape. I think we would all agree on that, and we will continue to be over the next several years. Each year we build on the success of the prior year. It means we get a couple of more good years, barring worldwide financial collapse. So we'll assume that won't happen. Unfortunately, when we have disputes, they tend to boil down sometimes to personalities. I try to stay out of that. I have said to you 3 years ago, and I'll say it to you again, I ran as someone who is independent. I am not aligned with any particular block of people, any school of thought, and I accept the backing of everyone, if you're so inclined. That's fine. And if you disagree with me, that's fine too. Tell me. I'm more than happy to discuss it with you. You may not convince me, and I may not convince you, but the best thing that can happen is if we all talk to each other. I still want to find a way to increase open discussions of what the board is considering over time, and I'm going to continue to look for a way to do that. I do believe in our advisory committees, and I do want to encourage everyone to do more. get into the community. The one thing I will say with a question that came up earlier about leaves, we do not want to be the leaf police, okay?
1 minute.
We clear the runways there so the water can drain out. We address the problems where they really need to be addressed. The houses that are dilapidated, the houses that are falling apart, the houses that people don't care for. That's where our priority should be. But we do not want to be the leaf police. And that said, I wish you all a good evening and don't get rained on. Thank you.
Well, it's not easy being the only challenger, even after they extended the deadline, but I'm here because you deserve a choice. And more importantly, Ocean Pines deserves a director who does the work, researches, listens, responds, questions, and sometimes even challenges the status quo. The last two elections, I stepped forward while many dedicated residents hesitated for fear of backlash when you don't 100% agree with the board, when you have a different opinion, you have a question, or even when you present real data. I've seen it. I've stayed engaged. I've been vocal about how we're spending our money, pet projects, using data for membership pricing. I've been vocal about common sense governance when it comes to our DRs, concentrate on the rundown houses, leave low impact landscaping alone, please. I've been vocal about the needs for more community input, more transparency, wastewater concerns, and of course, the needs of the fire department. Even though I am not on the board, I've stayed engaged. I attend all the meetings. I closely follow the committee work. I follow the budget and the budget process. I report on the monthly financials. I feel like I understand the issues that impact Ocean Pines, and I care about those issues. I talk to the residents. I feel like I have my finger on the pulse of the community, but more importantly, I listen to the residents. And I do sense a growing dissatisfaction in how things are going. And I'm here because I'm resolved to be a steadfast advocate for Ocean Pines. I love this place.
1 minute.
And so I want to be your voice on the board. So as the challenger, as the underdog, I need your vote. I need you to vote for Amy Peck, and I need you to tell your neighbors to vote for me as well. I need a word of mouth campaign. And I want to thank you for being here and listening to me, because I listen to you. Together we can make a difference, and that's what we need. We need leadership that listens. So please vote for me, Amy Peck. Thank you.
It's just kept getting better and better. All right, so that concludes the forum. I have a few commercial announcements, and then you'll be free to go. I guess you're free to go now. It's a free country. So first of all, I'd like to acknowledge some of the schematics and artwork at the back for our new proposed firehouse, the South Firehouse. And there's a couple of representatives from the fire department here. So after we're done, not yet, but after we're done, feel free to peruse that, especially if you didn't get a chance to get to the town hall earlier. And I'm sure they'll answer any questions that you have. As far as voting is concerned, and I hope this is right, and if it's wrong, it's Steve's fault because he wrote this. Voting materials will be mailed and emailed to members on June 8th. I should have proofread this better. Thank you. There's some informed candidates here. July 8th, Stuart. We don't know when they'll arrive. I mean, the emails will probably arrive right away, but because of the delays in the postal service, we used to get mail from my father-in-law in California the day after he mailed it. I don't understand why it takes a week to get something that mailed from Berlin, but that's another story. The mules are getting old. Okay, so you can also cast your vote online using the information, in your email, or in the paper ballot material. All ballots must be received on or before August 6th. That's a right date. They can be mailed, you can do it online, or there's a drop box for your ballots, as always, available in the lobby of the police building. That drop box will close at noon on August 6th, just to give us time to get it to the election vendor, and so they can be counted. You can observe the ballot counting process online, if you so choose. Information on how to do that will be provided in the mailings and the emailings. And election results will be certified at the annual meeting, assuming we get a quorum. So everybody show up, please, on Saturday, August 9th. So that concludes my information. I want to thank, first of all, I want to thank the candidates. I think we've got a great set of candidates. And again, that's important because then I don't have to feel like I need to volunteer. Thank you all for coming. And thank you for behaving. Thank you for laughing at most of the jokes. Thank you for applauding the very good statements that were made by the candidates. With that, I bid you good night and safe travels. Thank you.